I think, some confusion in a community about what was allowed under a First Amendment audit and what wasn't.
Right.
And after my assistant brought that to my attention, I went, oh, we should speak to our employees and let them know.
What was the
is
question
allowed.
that they had as far as what might or might not be
I'm
allowed?
trying to remember. I think it was Lowell.
It was
There
a
was a
while ago.
newspaper article
Yeah.
about it, and
Yeah.
I can't remember. It was, I think some people were kind of rude to you, actually.
Yeah, they
Yes.
were very rude.
Okay, so that's what it was, and I.
That's an excellent representation of your city government.
Maybe you'll have a change of heart.
Do you,
Maybe he won't.
do you like your job?
I'm here, aren't I?
Would you like to keep it?
I think so.
All right, then maybe start answering questions when the people come in and ask them. I don't know who you think you are or what made you think you could get up, walk into this office and accept a paycheck from the people. But when someone from this community walks in here and asks a question of you, you answer it or you get out. Oh, okay, thanks.
Could you check with the city manager's office, please, before you put people on camera?
I could, but I won't. Thanks, man. I didn't come in here giving you directives, so you can go back to what you're doing. Bianca was very helpful, man. Thank
It
you.
wouldn't really matter if we were carrying a camera or not carrying a camera. We would be coming into this department the same and asking.
Yes,
the same
but you're
kind of questions.
videotaping people, and some of them don't want to be videotaped.
Could you check with the city
Shouldn't you
manager's
be asking
office?
for permission?
Should I be?
Yeah, I believe
I should. Oh, is that a
so.
law?
Yeah.
Can you do me a favor? Can you check with the city manager's office before you come up to me when I have a camera?
Could you
Thanks,
check
man.
with them?
I could, but I won't. Thanks,
Okay.
though.
Thank
Just
you.
because
You're
you
welcome.
say please, sir, doesn't mean that you come off any less rude.
Okay, but you know what? People don't want to be videotaped, so do you care
Okay.
about their
Ted,
choices?
they don't want to be
When they're working for
videotaped.
the people, then they need to work for the people.
Ted, what's that?
Exactly.
What's that, Ted? What's up on the... They don't want to be videotaped, but you got a camera right there, Ted.
Yeah, it's a security camera.
Security. You seem to be awfully worried about, not just your security, but the city's security. What about the city's security and the constituent security when it came to the health department getting
Go
hacked?
ask the city manager.
You
If
can
that's
ask
a
me to
problem-
do it
Okay. No, please.
because you're stupid by yourself.
I've been told that, yes.
I can imagine you've been told that. It would
I
make
have
sense
been
that
told
you've been told that.
Yes.
It's good that people are honest with you.
Yes, that's great.
So how long have you been, defrauding people and not giving service in the city of Lowell?
It's just the only ones that are holding a camera.
No, but if we have a camera, then we don't get service.
He said it's not just the
I
ones.
said, how
holding
can
a
I
camera.
help you today, sir?
I just want to know. Let's start again.
Would you like
Hello.
to...
I would just
are
like
you
to know.
applying for a permit?
I would just. I don't know what. All I want to know is this. I have two simple questions. What services this office provides the community?
Your question.
So you're
You call
asking me?
stupid?
You are stupid.
Then I am not going to answer your question.
But you didn't answer my questions before I
I
called you
don't
stupid, which is
care.
why I called you stupid.
I never
I am
called
not-
you stupid, and I said hopefully he has
I'm-
a change of
I'm
heart,
not-
and you say,
I-
sir, and you say, no, I won't.
You asked me how you can help me. Then when I tell you how you can help me, you tell me to beat it.
Sir, I am not going to answer your questions. You can stand there
Yeah,
all day.
You're going to answer our questions.
You know what I think?
No, I am not.
100%.
You know what I think
No,
is
I am
wrong?
not.
Promise you. What would you say to the municipalities out there that maybe you've seen in our videos that were not professional, that didn't do the right thing? What changes, or could they make, what advice would you give them to make sure that, they're giving the best look for the citizens that they represent?
Sure. I think what we really did was we talked about it, and we had an open dialogue with our employees where they could ask questions, and I gave them an overview. And the Lowell one, my assistant, like I said, had sent me your video, which I didn't realize was yours in the beginning, and the article that came with it. I actually showed them some clips from that video so that they could see what was a great way to handle something in a professional way, and what could probably have been done better in certain circumstances. Listen, we all have bad days. We're not going to do things right all the time, but we have to try to be on it when we're here for the public to the extent we are. So we have time off if you're really having a terrible day or
Right.
something's going on in your family and you need to take time, we get that too. But it's about communication. It's about talking to people and saying, listen, these people, are coming in, it's their right. They're not here to attack you. They're not trying to hurt you in any way. And it's okay to talk and laugh and just share kind of your beliefs or whatever why you're here.
That was Kristen Rubin, Town Administrator for Berlin, Massachusetts. Firstly, let me say what a pleasure it was to meet her, and what an even greater pleasure it is to know that she's serving the citizens of her community. Not often do you have public officials call out other public officials that have behaved badly and could have done way better. But especially in this instance, she used our video from Lowell, Massachusetts as a training point and guideline to make sure her employees were doing the right thing. And she used the example and behavior from some of the officials in Lowell to show her employees how you don't do it. This is what we want to see in the public sector. We've also confirmed with Kristen and with the police chief of Berlin, Massachusetts, that we will be going in and doing a seminar to make sure their employees know exactly what a First Amendment audit is. Now, we've done this all over the country with state and federal agencies, and we are so happy to do it here. What we do every day can make a difference. And Lowell, if you're watching, those are the people that you saw in the not so nice clip. We can at least thank you for your irrational, irresponsible, and unprofessional behavior, because that was used as a training tool to show other public officials how not to do things. Please reach out to the Berlin Town Hall if you would like to and let them know they did a great job, and that's the reason I stopped you today. Great job, Kristen and Berlin staff. What's going on, guys? I'm in Berlin, Mass. The police, fire, rescue, and town offices. With Bananarana, our links in the description. Check her out. Tell her I said hi.
Come on in.
No, go ahead. You first. Ladies first.
Have a good weekend.
You too. I guess you're on the second level.
That's all I was getting at, so. All right, let me call you back.
Employees only.
No, no problem. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi there.
Which office is this? Oh, it says employees
It
only.
is, but I can come on out. How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good. What can I help you out with?
Did we recently mark this employees only?
We did probably a couple months ago.
A couple months ago.
Yeah. Oh, hi.
Do you recall why that was?
Well, typically we enter through this office. So this
Okay.
used to be the copy machine room.
Oh.
So, just for a little bit more privacy, so I could meet for HR purposes and things, we have folks come in here. Mary is the administrative assistant. She's normally
Okay.
here. Her mother passed away, unfortunately.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So that's why she's there. She was actually on vacation and her mother passed away, which is not a great way to spend vacation.
No.
So normally we just have folks come in through here, and then
So, be advised that in Massachusetts, persons may record certain public officials in public places as they undertake official business. If such a recording is being made and you're uncomfortable, please feel free to call the office to address your issue, make an appointment, or come back at a different. So I'm just trying to put everything together. So we have the time that's assigned that's specific to First Amendment auditors, and then this office has now designated employees only. So what I think I'm gathering from this, tell me if I'm wrong, is y'all see my videos and someone sent you some sort of memo, so to prepare you put that signage up. Am I on the right track?
I have not received a memo from anybody. I know about First Amendment audits. There was a KP Law, which does, like most of the municipal lawyers did it, and the lawyers actually advised all the cities and towns that participated to put up signs and designate
Right. So
areas
a
that
couple
were
months ago when we were doing we did all the surrounding towns and then the sign. Because I mean, it's good that you let people know. There's nothing wrong with doing that.
Right.
It's good. It's good.
Right,
that,
we're just wondering like when and why it was put up in the
yeah, just trying to follow the
we
sequence.
know sometimes people are uncomfortable, like members of the public being filmed. We know we are eligible and totally okay with being filmed.
Right.
And that's fine, and you guys can ask us any questions we want. We just wanted folks to know that if they didn't want to be on camera and they were here to make a tax payment or something like that,
Right,
that they
rather
could come
than
back.
like verbally saying it, they can read it.
I don't want to like
understand.
embarrass you
Right.
guys either, because you have a right to be here.
Well, I don't have anything wrong with it. I'm just trying to follow the sequence of events so I can do some records requests later. But there's nothing wrong. That's a great sign to have up.
Right. It's
Because
basically saying
we're
that we
here.
can exhibit
Yeah,
our
we're
rights.
we're here to hold y'all accountable and record you in your official capacity. So if someone has an issue with it or feels uncomfortable, it kind of takes them out of the equation. I think that's something that should be done at most of the. Do you know if any of the other town halls are doing that?
I think they probably are, because it was at the request of or at the recommendation of KP Law, which is a big municipal law firm in the state.
That contracts out as
They
like
contract with
the
cities and
corporation
towns
attorneys for the towns.
As their legal counsel, yeah.
Right.
So like a lot of
Okay.
the small towns like us
Which is
don't have
oh my
legal
God,
counsel.
that makes sense. I remember who they are. So Arlington, Massachusetts, KP Law represents Arlington. Remember I told you that because of my video in Arlington, they had KP Law actually did a webinar with the folks at Arlington and other surrounding towns. That was approximately just over 4 months ago. Is that about how long this has been going on?
Are you the folks who are out in Lowell?
Yeah.
Okay, I did hear. My assistant heard about that, and we
Okay.
had a webinar about the same time from KP Law, and so we did notify employees about that. So
See, I knew. I knew
you're
it.
right. You're right. I forgot, and I honestly didn't recognize you guys because it's not something that I.
No,
have
and
much time
normally,
to sit and watch, right?
normally I'm not on the other end of the camera, anyways. But
okay.
to remain incognito, I just simply put on sunglasses like Clark Kent. He just takes them off. I put them
like
on.
that.
Lowell, that's
I
the
like
one
that.
where we went with Carmen, right?
Yeah, we had the
Yeah.
reporter with us.
Well,
yeah.
there was one that I actually watched because there was, I think, some confusion in a community about what was allowed under a First Amendment audit and what wasn't.
Right.
And after my assistant brought that to my attention, I went, oh, we should speak to our employees and let them know.
What was the
is
question
allowed.
that they had as far as what might or might not be
I'm
allowed?
trying to remember. I think it was Lowell.
It was
There
a
was a
while ago.
newspaper article
Yeah.
about it, and
Yeah.
I can't remember. It was. I think some people were kind of rude to you, actually.
Yeah, they
Yes.
were very
Okay, so that's what it was, and I just
It
wanted
was-
my employees to understand what their rights were and what your rights
And
were.
that, listen, that's so we came in here, and it could be like really easy, and you're very, very nice. If I was like seeking a reaction as my foremost purpose,
Sure.
it'd be real easy to needle one. Like if
I
I
can needle people.
if I
I don't
even wanted to
mind.
try, right? So when we went into that office, this is what she's talking about, guys. I just played them a quick clip for when they watch it. I just put it, but you know, everyone was for the most part was really, really nice. So we had no reason to be affronted. I mean, of course, newspapers following us around. It'd be better if everyone's yelling at us for like people to want to read the paper. Everyone was nice, so we were nice. Then we go up there and
Well, it
just
makes a better story.
yeah.
right?
But as soon as we walk in the building, like we can't make people act a certain way. That guy was just hostile and rude and mean. The engineer, which is why that prompted me to do records requests. And even when we were upset about it, we went to the mayor's office and we didn't take it out on him. You know what I mean?
Sometimes we like to do records requests because we want to see like if like an employee did well, like and they treated us with respect and kindness and stuff.
I was gonna say.
We'll do a records request to see if we think that they're making good enough money for what the job that they're doing.
Absolutely, comparison. So that guy, I believe, was making close to $70,000. So we find folks that are doing a great job. In fact, a couple videos ago, lady's working full time since 2002. And they were paying her $29,100 and some change, and I use that to compare and contrast.
Gotcha.
Public employee, not afraid of the camera, educating the public around her, de-escalating any possible escalations before they start, making less than 30 grand. This guy giving us trash just because he's in the building, making literally 4 times that. It was incredible.
Like kind of blows our minds, but that's kind of like what we try to compare. Like, okay, well, you know, like these people are respecting literally everyone's rights. They're going above and beyond what their job entails, and they're making next to nothing. And then
Gotcha.
you've got other people that seem to be doing nothing and making crazy amounts.
Makes
of
no
money.
sense, and that's the problem that I have because listen, we're all in a recession. I had a guy in Peabody, the town manager, when he had taken over 3 years ago. He's making $180,000, okay, which is still a lot of money, especially for Peabody.
Sure.
In his very first year, he bumped himself up to 200. The following year, he gave himself an even larger raise, putting him at about 240,000.
Oh, wow.
The next year after that, he reduced only his work week that was already 4 days a week to only 3. Under that tutelage, the homeless population had risen by 10% on our first visit, was at 20% on the second visit, and he was just the epitome of everyone else was great, but unprofessional. And we went back in there to ask him about it on a Monday, and do you know where he was? The Cape.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He
So,
was enjoying himself.
but
Well, I will tell you, a lot of our offices are closed on Fridays because we are very small.
Most are, yeah.
And we have like 2 people offices.
Yeah.
So I always make sure that I'm here on Fridays so that if folks come through, I can help them out with.
most are, especially the small towns, will open up on Saturdays and they'll do like a 4 to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
just to try and clear up stuff before Monday.
Well, normally our treasurer is here, but he's actually at his exam for the certification that they have to get. So
Yeah.
he's getting his test done today. Or normally he'd be here with me and my assistant.
Well, yeah, and I was going to point out, if we wanted to spark a reaction, and I'm saying it quietly, that lady gave me a cranky face in that room because she didn't like that we came in with cameras. And I did not intentionally. I was like, you know what? She might be having a bad day.
It's Friday.
I like walked this way intentionally and didn't even point the camera at her, even though I could have.
Yeah,
But that's we don't want to spark
Well,
a
and
reaction.
that
We
one that
just-
I did watch, I saw, I didn't think that you were all trying to provoke
Yeah.
a reaction. I think some people have a very visceral reaction to being filmed sometimes.
Well, I think
And
it's
so that's why we
also
need to
a
educate our
misconception.
employees.
The problem is that you can't really educate on some things that are ignorant, right? Like folks like that gentleman, all right, he might have a view of what a First Amendment auditor or an activist is, right?
Sure.
Based on maybe one video out of, I have 2,000, imagine how many in total there are on the internet, right?
Right.
And he watched that one video and he's made a distinction that these people are all assholes and they're trying to get a reaction and they're coming in here and when I'm working hard and so, but I didn't go in there giving up. I've had public employees pepper spray me, tase me, tackle me, arrest me. I've had public employees be arrested in their office for assaulting me with objects and be charged by their own police department. I've had all this stuff.
I promise I will not assault.
But I didn't go. I
want any of
didn't.
that
I didn't
to
go
happen to
in there. I gave him respect, not just automatically thinking that he'd be like everybody else. I think in that situation, he didn't afford us the same respect that we afforded him. But when you're in a public-facing capacity, in a recession, you know, people are paying you good money. You have to, regardless of who walks through your door, treat them with respect. And if you have a problem with it, you call the police. Now, the police were called. They spoke to us afterwards, and they told the guy, "We're watching the cameras. They've done nothing wrong. So why don't you leave them alone?"
Right.
You know.
Well, and also I learned too, I think it was Southbridge, there was a recent decision because they were kicking people out of meetings for calling like the select board criminals. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
And they determined that that is still like, you can't, it's still a First Amendment protected right.
Right.
You know, unless somebody is
It's
like
your free
threatening
speech to
violence or
address
something
your
like that.
grievances, yeah.
Correct.
Loud,
You
violent, or
can't-
tumultuous. Other than that, it's all protected under redress.
Exactly. But a lot of boards have had like a civil discourse policy of like, I'll treat you with respect, you treat me with respect. However, when you're in a public facing position, people are upset, they come in, and I get that that's
Right.
part of my job, that sometimes I might be called a jerk or, you
Or
know,
something
or
worse.
you're corrupt or whatever, you know. And I've learned over the years that you just have to take it. There's going to be stuff on Facebook.
Well, you get
people's right
people
to
at
free
their worst
speech.
moments. I akin it to
Right.
this, right? If your flight gets, there's one counter, and everyone's dealt with it probably once. Your flight gets overbooked. You go to that one counter that deals with people's flights delayed, flights canceled. They never see a happy passenger. They always get yelled at. But the professional in them will say, I'm getting them at their worst moment when they're dealing with something that's, you know, infringing on them.
Right.
Like, it's not personal. That's, you know what? Listen, we had a government that would murder us over 1% T-tax. You know what I mean? Like,
There's a reason this country is founded upon certain
civil
values.
disobedience
Yep.
is what this country was founded off of. You
Yep.
know?
This was a pleasure speaking with you.
Oh.
No, you're
this
awesome.
Was a nice conversation, like to kind
Happy
of get
to
it from
have
your
it.
perspective too on like what's going on. But
And I'll tell you, the reason I did have a department head meeting after the training that I saw, and the reason I had it was, I think people hear negative things and they get scared and they see the camera coming and they're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, and they panic. So what I explain to them is when people come in to the building, they have a right to film, and that you should treat them like any other resident, taxpayer, anyone else who comes in the building. You're polite, you answer questions, you know,
Yeah.
it's part of public service. And my philosophy has always been, if you don't like working with people, you're in the wrong profession, because
Right.
this is what you're supposed, like, this
Even
is the
the-
essence of doing what we're doing.
that's true.
Even the memos that go out about like us specifically, literally like the NEMLAC memos, even FBI sit reps, like the ones that we've gotten, I've got a hold of, they say like, listen, these people are not known to be aggressive. And I can speak for the most part of
I
the
don't
folks
find
that do this. most of us, right? If we come in and you're just polite to us and normally say, is there anything if you need any help, this is what I suggest. Don't say, what can I help you with?
Sure. Do you need
because
any help?
I would say, if there's anything you need, just feel free to let us know, because there's no engagement there. Just saying like, listen, I'm not asking you if you need help, we're here. Other than that, enjoy yourself. And if that's what we get when we come in, there might be less than 1% margin of people that will try and, just like anyone else, there's always a percentage of people. But I mean, the real folks that do what we do, they're not coming in here and getting treated with professionalism and saying anything else. I mean, obviously, this is very forward and confronting.
You know what I noticed that's kind of beautiful to see? Like, I looked, and I think that's a camera, but like, I look.
It is a camera.
Right? Like, I look, and I don't see hardly any, right? And we come in here, and there's not a big deal that we've got cameras. Like, we've gone into places that have cameras in literally every single crevice, every single corner, and we're getting yelled at for having a camera.
Right.
We're like, wait a second. You guys are watching us.
Right. No, and my understanding is actually the main reason that camera is installed, we're actually attached to the police and
Right.
fire
Right.
department as well. So we get people that do come up here after hours going to the wrong side of the building.
You can get that.
Yeah,
you can get
and
that.
making, it's just really for safety of all
Yeah.
employees. It's,
I mean, it's
not,
right
and the
near
public too.
entrance. It's like right near the entrance. It
Correct.
makes sense. Even if you had 10 or 20 of them, like, just
And-
as it's okay for you guys to have them, it's okay for us.
Yeah, and you guys could there's this argument that's been broken already, and people, like limited public forums. So like a library or some town halls, as soon as you walk in, they'll run out with their policy that they very hastily printed off the internet, quoting the limited public forum. And I always explain to them, like, it's limited public forum is services that you would not expect to receive at the entity that you're at. So if I go to the town hall and you guys are having like the senior center down here doing arts and crafts, I wouldn't normally expect, a reasonable person wouldn't expect to go to a town hall and see seniors doing finger painting. That's a limited public forum.
Sure.
Or in a library, they're doing a yoga class, a limited public forum. And they,
Or children's reading.
Right,
or
right,
something, yeah.
exactly. They try and be on the offensive before we even come in the door. This is perfect. You take care of all points. You take care of your staff.
Right.
You let the people know, because we're not in here for Joe Schmo. So you're letting them know, if you see someone filming, come get us. We'll take care of you. You get rid of the problem if they're going to have it. We still have our ability to film you. Everyone's respected.
Protecting
And I
everyone's
also,
rights.
I always say signs are stupid, and I don't follow signs.
Do you like my sign?
I love this sign.
I have to tell you, the treasurer actually had that sign. He came from Leominster.
Okay.
And he said, we had this sign outside of our office and we thought it was a good idea. And after we had the department head meeting, he actually suggested that we put the
Oh, this
sign
was in
up.
Leominster.
He came from Leominster.
Okay.
The treasurer here now came
Yeah.
from
Oh,
there.
okay.
So he had this sign apparently.
Because we just had an issue in the library with Leominster.
Okay. This was probably the town
Yeah.
hall.
Well, we went over to the town
And
hall
this would've
afterwards,
been
and the first
before-
time,
This would have been after the treasurer
yeah,
came here.
yeah, this has been out. Well, we had a little bit of a snafu. The librarian called us effing a-holes and stuff, and they didn't take it serious. The mayor's stance was that, well, you're filming them at work. That's basically harassment. So she wants to use her free speech. I explained to him, when you're in an official capacity, most people don't understand it's not just common courtesy. You have limited First Amendment rights when you're in a public capacity, besides just the code of conduct. So,
Right.
but you see it everywhere. I see it all the time. A town hall that's doing great. 3 years ago, I walk in, new staff, and they do the same thing, and it's good to see you guys are doing what you're doing. I applaud you, and I hope that folks, when they watch this video, and it's also for the other town halls that are out there, this is as easy as it can be. There is no confrontation. There is no debate. There is no screaming. We walk in, there's a sign like this, everybody knows. And to be perfectly honest with you, when we go into like town clerk's office and someone's in there doing billing information, I leave and I come back at the end when they're gone. And if they're still doing what they're doing, I go in very simply, I get what I need, I lift the camera up so I don't get any of their bill and stuff, and I walk out and go. It's super easy.
You're not trying to get credit card numbers and personal information and none of that stuff, right?
Like, that's crazy. But
Right.
and have been signs, and I forget what it was. Was it Connecticut or New York, where there was a sign that said,
Connecticut.
no First Amendment auditors allowed. Or,
Oh, that was in New York.
New
When
York.
it says First Amendment
Yeah.
right in the
No, it
ban.
literally, yeah, he literally
kind of
wrote
interesting.
on the sign, everyone is allowed except First Amendment
Yeah.
auditors. The sign has since been
Removed, yes.
taken down.
But those would be signs that we would be like, are you serious? Like, so everyone else
Yeah.
is allowed but us. So even if you had a camera and you weren't a First Amendment auditor, you'd be allowed.
Well, listen,
I don't
you
know.
can't
It's
like
weird.
violate protected class, like, and folks engaging in a First Amendment activity is that's a protected class of citizens, same as religion, and like you can't just do that. And I told the kid, I was like, if you were smart, and I don't like suing because the taxpayers foot the bill for it, but there needs to be some accountability.
Yep.
As soon as you walk in there, you see a sign that says, everyone can film except First Amendment auditors. You say out loud, ooh, I'm a First Amendment auditor because of who I am, because I'm engaging in the First Amendment, I'm not allowed to film. Then you turn around and walk out because your rights can't be violated until you let them do it.
Right.
Yep.
You know? And then they learn, but he didn't do that, and he did even better. He enlisted the help of some other folks, and
Yeah,
now
he did even
the
better,
sign's
that's
down.
true.
Kid's
Because
a great
everybody
activist.
goes about things differently, and he was smart with how he did
Yeah.
it, and that sign is gone.
He
Thank
called
God.
everybody in the Rolodex.
Well, and I feel like that's like, as town administrators, it's our responsibility to make sure that our employees, town managers, mayors, whatever it may be, that our employees understand what their rights are, what
Right.
your rights are. And if there's somebody who, you know, everybody is allowed to be on camera, but if there's somebody who's really, really nervous on camera, it's like, just, you know, be pleasant just like you would with anybody else. And, you know,
That's where
I think the
she comes
nervousness
in.
is sometimes where people, like, I get hung up, I think. They see the camera, they get anxious.
We
because
dealt
they're
with
worried
that
they're gonna say
yesterday.
something wrong.
Yesterday there was a young lady. We were actually we walked into the Rutland Public Library, and as soon as you walked in, we were kind enough to wait until the librarian was done with what she was doing, so we didn't even interrupt her. We stood there for a good 2 minutes. And then she turned around and said, I don't want to be on film. You can't film me without my permission, and I'm not going to give you any service. So we went down to speak to another lady who was in some capacity a supervisor, and the first thing she's like, wait, I'm going to film him. I don't look great. And that's where I let her step in. And she's like, listen, you look absolutely beautiful, and it's a good thing that you're on camera
she did
because
look beautiful.
you're the saving grace of this video. So you look great. And sometimes that happens where people are being nice, and they're kind of like, because of my don't feel great about myself for whatever reason. They're like,
having a bad
I don't
hair day.
mind that you're filming. I don't have a problem with you filming. I just feel like I look, and then like so we there's
Sometimes he makes an
it's
oopsie,
tact.
thinking that the woman's about to say, "Oh, I look too old" or something like that. Because there was one time she kind of was young too. He was like, "You don't look a day over whatever," and she's like, "I wasn't gonna say anything about my age." And then I was
And you're like, oh, I didn't mean that. It's
Word
hard, yeah.
vomit.
And he's
I
like,
mean,
ooh. And, you know, he can't go backwards, but she didn't look a day over whatever he had said.
I was just
but,
trying to be nice. See, when people say, as long as they're not saying you can't film,
Right.
if they're saying, I understand you got the right to do it, but I don't feel comfortable on camera. You can, but I'm just letting you know, like, I feel. And then at that point, like, still human beings. Like, no, you look absolutely great. And it's folks like you more than anyone that should be on camera because you have a wonderful smile and everyone's going to love you and they're going to
Yeah.
call and compliment
Try to
for
like,
you.
make them feel comfortable, which is great.
And
Now I know
even-
you. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, even after the fact, where that lady was really mean yesterday, like I even tried to ask her, was like, you know what, maybe we got off on the wrong foot. Like, are you willing to talk to me now? And she just totally mute. She yells at him and then doesn't say anything to me. I'm like,
Actually,
what?
she yelled at me.
She did.
She yelled at me.
You're
She's like, you're being. It's funny. She says, what did she say? She goes, you're being confrontational with me. And I'm like, the person yelling is the one saying that I'm being confrontational.
And then
She's
she's
like, well, you should show me some respect. And I said, so all you've done is tell me I'm not allowed to do something that is a God-given right, and I'm disrespecting you. Like, why would I respect someone that's trying to tread on me? That's like walking down the street having someone punch me in the face, and then I should tell them to have a great day. That doesn't make.
It was sad.
A lot of
I mean,
sense.
I laugh now, but in the moment I was like, oh my God. Like,
But it would be this simple. It would literally be this simple to take a little bit of time and educate your folks. You know, Tingsboro did an awesome job. Air Library, we just left them to do. There's a lot of folks out there like yourself that are putting in the work to make sure that their employees are protected, their citizens are protected, and at large, people's rights are protected. That's what we want from government. That's why town halls are such an important place to conduct filming in, because police officers are enforcing laws, but some of those laws and some of those ordinances are coming from the administrators in the town. This is your seat of government. We still, 300 plus years later, need to address our grievances and complain when needed and compliment when necessary. So excellent job.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I genuinely appreciate that.
You can tell KP Law we're not all bad. It's just most of their towns we go to. Most of their towns we go to, we get this crazy behavior.
Yeah.
And then this is, I mean, so it's possible, folks. I mean, just walk out, be professional. We'll let you get, I don't want to shake your hand because my hands all sweaty. So let me give you a pound it.
You know what it is? I get like, no, my hands.
Oh, you want to shake? Okay.
No,
That's
but
fine.
we get like, you know, her demeanor and the way that she acts with us is just like the beautiful lady in Townsend Town Hall. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Does she work in the clerk's office?
She works
Is that
in the
what it
clerk's
is?
office.
I forget her name, but she is absolutely
Amazing.
wonderful. She is a joy.
We love her.
This is who I would compare her to.
Yep.
Because they're like the same. It's almost like I'm talking to the same person. But
I have a doppelganger.
You no,
Yeah.
well, just your level
No,
of
no.
professionalism
Oh, gotcha.
and your engagement to the community.
it's beautiful.
I hope
Yeah.
folks don't tie up your phones, but I do hope they call you and let you know after watching this video how wonderful that you are. And I also wanted to point out before we leave that it's not. Sometimes we ask someone, they'll be like, hey, "You saw this video and how this person treated us," and they'll say, "What do you?" Even if it's not their town, I would never ask you to speak on like one of your other employees because you can't legally. And secondly, I'm not going to pitch against each other. But from a different town, I say, "Well, I can't comment." Now it's just to even be honest enough to say, I kind of just, I was watching the video and I thought the guy was a little bit rude to you. I don't,
Yeah.
we need honesty.
I'll get some hate mail now. maybe
No,
from
no,
that,
no,
but-
no. We need honesty
Yeah.
in the government, and those are usually two words that can never be collaborated in people's understanding of things. I think it's important to see that government can work for you if you just find the right people to put in those positions. So
Yeah.
great on you. We appreciate it.
I always try to be, I'm a very straightforward person, and sometimes I say too much, but my whole thing is like, I'm just trying to be myself, and
Right.
you're a person, I'm a person. We're all just people, and we should be straightforward and honest with each other, because that's the only way we're gonna get things done. And I'm a steward of public funds. Like, I understand, and I feel that weight in some ways upon me, right? Like, I am entrusted with a $15 million budget. That's a large business, right?
course
That's
it is.
not just
Yes.
like, oh, I just rolled up to work today and, here I am.
So you
Like,
take
that's a lot. I
time when
take-
considering that amount of,
Yes.
of weight. So if you had
Take it
like,
seriously.
if there was a decision that you
Yep.
had to make that affected the taxpayers $1 million, would you think that 60 seconds is enough to decide if that money should be allocated?
No.
No. How long? Like, it would take some time to
I'm
think
like
if.
a big group builder, like get people to sit down, let's talk to it, let's get the department heads together. We actually have a huge volunteer base in this town, like boards and committee members that are like super intelligent people that just, they don't always agree, but they're very respectful of one another. And to me, 5 heads is better than 1.
Yeah.
So like there's a reason I have a 3-member board.
Takes a big
I'm
person.
not making all
Right.
the decisions myself because I'm not going to think of everything.
Right.
I'm not that good. Like, you know what I mean?
Which is
Like,
another important thing. You have the power, but it's you don't choose to wield it as a one powered entity, which is
Right.
also very important. Listen, I'm the same way. First of all, I can make mistakes, and as intelligent as I am, I know a lot about a few things, but I also know nothing about a lot of things. And if there's people that have areas of expertise that are outside my comfort area,
Yep.
then why not bring them in, whether at my own expense or thankfully at their charitable donation of their time, to have them come in and do everything they can to try and make sure that every dollar is going to the right place.
Absolutely. I just
Great.
wish if I could say one thing
Of course.
to your viewers, there are people out there that are like us, and I think they're growing. There are actually a lot of folks kind of coming up in, I'll say I'm an old millennial, even though that's such a negative word, but I don't think it is anymore. People just call millennials, but no, there's a lot of people coming up. You see this big shift in government. People are retiring. There's folks coming in. There's fresh new ideas. you know, I don't have any ties to government. It's, you know, it's not like I got put in a position. I'm an appointed person. I had to apply for it. I had to have the education, the experience, the background. And I just want people to know that there are genuinely people that are honest and want to do the right thing out there. I mean, I went into public service. I genuinely wanted to help people. I was in a nonprofit background before. Oops, sorry, Ellie. And this is really something that I do because I believe that you need to have people that are doing it honestly for the right reasons. And there are, you know, don't get me wrong, in every profession you have people that are doing things for the wrong reasons.
Of course.
Right.
But you also have a lot of people that are doing things for the right reasons.
What would you say? Because there's going to be my viewers watching, and there's also going to be lots of other
Now I'm
municipal
like nervous. There's
employees.
all these viewers.
No, I don't know. I have a small channel.
That's all right.
No, mine's small, is big.
What would you say to the municipalities out there that maybe you've seen in our videos that were not professional, that didn't do the right thing? What changes, or could they make? What advice would you give them to make sure that, you know, they're giving the best look for the citizens that they represent?
Sure. I think what we really did was we talked about it, and we had an open dialogue with our employees where they could ask questions, and I gave them an overview. And the Lowell one, my assistant, like I said, had sent me your video, which I didn't realize was yours in the beginning, and the article that came with it. I actually showed them some clips from that video so that they could see what was a great way to handle something in a professional way, and what could probably have been done better in certain circumstances. Listen, we all have bad days. We're not going to do things right all the time, but we have to try to be on it when we're here for the public to the extent we are. So we have time off if you're really having a terrible day or
Right.
something's going on in your family and you need to take time. We get that too. But it's about communication. It's about talking to people and saying, listen, these people, you know, are coming in. It's their right. They're not here to attack you. They're not trying to hurt you in any way. And it's okay to talk and laugh and just share kind of your beliefs or whatever why you're here with them. So
Guys, keep the faith. That's great. And you know, you can't like lose hope. Like, I don't lose hope that there's good government employees out there, because I found one, just like I hope the people that watch the type of stuff that we do realize the same thing. And the same thing that you did with that video, you found some employees that did great. You found some areas of improvement, some coaching opportunities in some other areas. You pointed that out. We do the same thing. I'll watch my video and other professional colleagues of you know, my encompassing area will call me and say, hey, listen, man, you did this. Why not try this? Or I listen to the people. I read my comments. I have 140,000 subscribers, and I go through the comments, and people will say, hey, listen, man, I love your stuff, but, and then I have to take that into consideration, and I'm lucky. I have a large group of minds that can get back to me and give me feedback.
oh yeah, and you take the constructive part, right?
Yeah.
Like, some of it's noise and you're like, that whatever is just someone being rude. But if it can help you and make you better, you take that part of it and you use that part of it. That's how
I'm much more
kind of
calm. I used to, as soon as someone would violate my rights or be rude to me, I'm like, just so you guys know, whatever unprofessionalism you give me, times it by 3,000, I'm going there immediately. So it's up to you if you want to have the worst day of your life. And then I took constructive criticism, and I just realized that, you know, if someone's going to scream in my face, I'm not going to want to listen to them. I really do want to teach people.
Sure.
So, you know, we're humans by trait. We evolve.
Yep.
And I think that the government, you're a shining example. Well, the government can do that. So,
Right, and sometimes we lose our faith
Faith in humanity a little bit, yeah.
Humanity by doing what we do, because we see
a lot of bad things.
Really bad things, and I'm not gonna lie, we got some bad information today about somebody not being held accountable for what
And it lets you down when you see that.
Like, I told him, I said, what's the point? Like,
Here?
No. Just in a
like,
neighboring area.
What's the point? Like,
Yeah.
we put ourselves out there. We try to do the right thing, and like we hope that like our communities around us and the public officials around us will do the right thing too.
Yep.
And then when you see like injustice happening and there's literally nothing that you can do about it, like, it makes you lose faith.
Well, you think about it this
and
way.
then we come in here, because I was so sad outside in the car, and we come in here and it's just so beautiful to see, because
Aww.
I lost my faith a little bit in the car, so I want to thank you.
Thank you. That is, that really means a lot. Thank you.
It means a lot to us.
We don't see it enough.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
I'm glad
That's
that
why
there
I
are
was
people
wearing
out
my
there.
sunglasses
Oh,
when
I
came
gotcha.
in.
Gotcha. Well, it also got sunny out. It got
Yeah.
nice. So,
So,
you know.
See a lot of bad stuff, more bad than good.
yeah.
But when you find the good, it is just so good. So I'll let you get back to your stuff.
I wanted to
You
say
are an
thank you.
absolute wonder, and I think that every member of this community should come into this office and give you a hug, because you did for them in 10 minutes what a lot of other people and a lot of budgets wouldn't do over the course of years. So good on you.
Doing my
Keep
job.
up the great work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
You
I'm
do-
just gonna take a
Yeah.
loop
Yeah, we're
around.
just gonna loop
and
around.
take a look.
I'll tell you, other than the folks that are installing our AV equipment, we're trying to go to hybrid meetings.
So there's not much people here
You
today.
probably won't find
That's
anybody.
fine.
but
We
you're
found
welcome
we
to go.
found everything we needed.
That's all right.
Thank you so much. I'll email you and let you know when the video is coming out so you can give a look.
I'd love to see it. Thanks.
All right, thank you.
All right, take care.
It does. It makes you feel good. I mean, as many people out there, there's a lot of people that say we crave the bad moments, and you know, listen. I don't crave the bad moments. I
definitely don't.
I think that people will watch those, you know, meltdowns more than they do the good stuff. But I think the good stuff primarily is more important than the bad stuff, because it shows that progress is being made and can be achieved.
They're definitely getting work done today.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of stuff over here.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's just they are really busy doing electrical.
I'm gonna hit the restroom, but I won't break it when I hit it.
The restroom.
The restroom.
That was like a light in the dark experience right there.
Hey man, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, thanks, man. Yeah, that's something that. It just, listen, I say when I do this stuff, I've been doing this for years. I got 60 million views. Nothing surprises me anymore. She surprised me. That was awesome. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, guys. Hold on. I was just going to the bathroom and I spoke to her privately for a second, just letting her know that, again, off camera, we appreciate everything that she did. We need more like that. That's the town of Berlin, Massachusetts, doing the hard work, a light in the dark, certainly, and it's so refreshing to see. And that's the reason we stopped you today.